You've promised yourself you'd quit, maybe 5 times, maybe 20, and every time it's the same. You hold on for a few days, then something happens, and you're right back where you started. And the worst part isn't that you slipped. The worst part is that you begin to think something is wrong with you. That others can do it, but you can't. That you're weaker. That this is forever. But here's something important you need to hear right now. You're not weak. You're just fighting the wrong enemy. The Japanese understood this long before self-help books, coaches, and Change Your Life in 21 Days programs existed. Samurai, monks, craftsmen, they didn't believe willpower was the main tool. They knew a person doesn't change in a burst. A person changes through rhythm. Today, I'll walk you through a complete Japanese system for breaking any bad habit. Not theory, not pretty words. Real steps that work with your mind, not against it. Most people think like this. I smoke, so I'm weak. I procrastinate, so I'm lazy. I overeat, so I lack control. We're used to labeling ourselves, and that's exactly what makes us powerless. Japanese psychology sees it differently. Every bad habit once helped you, even the one that's hurting your life right now. You reach for a cigarette because it once gave you relief during stress. You overeat at night because food once felt like comfort and safety. You scroll endlessly because it once gave you a sense of connection when you felt alone. The problem isn't the habit. The problem is the pain inside that you once covered with it. As long as you fight the habit without seeing its root, you'll stay stuck in the same loop. Promise, attempt, relapse, shame, and repeat. Now here's why fighting makes things worse. In Zen, monks were taught a simple idea. Don't fight the fog, or you'll only get deeper into it. When you try to crush a habit with force, an internal conflict begins. One part of you wants change, while another protects the old survival strategy. And that creates a war. The harder you try to quit, the stronger the urge becomes. The stricter you are, the more intense the cravings. This isn't weakness, it's biology. The brain protects stability, even when that stability is harming you. A Japanese calligraphy master once tried for years to eliminate his anger. He meditated, fasted, forced silence on himself. But the more he fought, the worse it became. Finally, his teacher told him, "Stop fighting the wave. Learn to see it." That's where the Japanese approach begins. Not suppression, but awareness and redirection. Now about willpower. Most people rely on it, and that's why they fail. Samurai said, "What requires effort every day is doomed. What becomes ritual becomes permanent." Willpower works for short bursts, not long-term change. That's where kaizen comes in, the path of small steps. It works because it doesn't trigger resistance. It doesn't scare your brain. It allows gradual change. Instead of asking, "How do I break this habit?" Kaizen asks, "What is one tiny thing I can do that my brain won't even resist?" That question changes everything. There's a story about a businessman who smoked for over 20 years. He tried everything: patches, pills, promises, apps, hypnosis, and always failed. Then a monk told him, "Stop trying to win. Try to befriend it." The monk gave him one rule: when you want to smoke, don't forbid it. Just hold the cigarette for 10 minutes without lighting it. Within a week, the craving shortened. Within a month, they began to fade. Within 3 months, he quit completely, not through force, but through awareness. Here's the first lesson. A bad habit isn't a monster. It's comfort that became dependence. Protection that became a prison. The way out doesn't start with, "I quit." It starts with, "What is this replacing? And how else can I give that to myself?" Now imagine this. You're sitting in a dim room in the evening, and the urge rises again. Japanese philosophy says this: the urge is not a dragon, it's a wave. Every urge has phases, a small impulse, a peak, and then a decline. The peak only lasts a few minutes. If you don't act, it fades. The problem is, habits train you to act at the peak. But if you stop fighting and just observe, the wave passes. This leads to a simple but powerful technique, the 10-minute rule. When the urge appears, don't deny it, delay it. Say, "I'll do it later, but for now, I'll sit with this feeling for 10 minutes. Just observe it. At first, it feels strong. Then it peaks. Then it fades. And here's the key. Once the peak passes, you're no longer deciding under pressure. You're choosing consciously. Another powerful tool, name the feeling. Instead of, "I want this," say, "This is anxiety. This is boredom. This is a craving." The moment you name it, you separate yourself from it. Now about relapse. You will slip at some point, and that's normal. The problem isn't falling. The problem is thinking the fall is the end. In Zen, relapse is part of the path, not failure, feedback. Instead of shame, ask, "What did I feel right before this?" That's how you find the trigger and change the pattern. And one more key idea, don't leave a void. If you remove a habit without replacing it, your brain goes back to the old one. So replace it. Instead of sweets, tea and a deep breath. Instead of scrolling, a short walk. Instead of smoking, conscious breathing. Instead of your phone before bed, writing your thoughts down. Keep it simple, or your brain will reject it. Now the core idea. You have two selves, the automatic and the conscious. Bad habits belong to the automatic self. It doesn't choose, it repeats. The real enemy isn't the craving. It's living on autopilot. The Japanese concept, one moment, one meeting, reminds us every moment is unique. You can choose, not repeat. Even a small pause breaks the chain. That's why the 3-second pause is so powerful. Catch yourself, pause, count to 3. That's enough to bring awareness back. And finally, the principle of small steps. Big changes overwhelm the brain. Small ones build a new path. Improve by just 1% each day, and over time, everything changes. There's a story about a young samurai named Kano. He was weaker than everyone, lost almost every fight, and made constant mistakes. But he had one strength. He always showed up the next day. Not talented. Not fast. Not the bravest. But consistent. Day after day, one small step. Over time, he surpassed everyone, not through talent, but through persistence. When asked how he became strong, he said, "I didn't become strong. I just never stopped." That's the samurai formula. Notice the urge, but don't act immediately. Wait 10 minutes. Name the feeling. Replace the habit. Take small steps daily. Learn from relapses without shame. Act independently of your mood. And one day, you wake up and realize you're no longer at war with yourself. You've simply become a different person, one small, honest step at a time. Stay tuned to the channel, more to come.